Hey everyone, it's Deb Blum here, and I want to talk today about stress and how to proactively deal with regulating our nervous system. Okay, so first, I just want to talk about stress. So, our bodies have the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the one that gets engaged when we are triggered, when we're in fight or flight or freeze. And it's a very, very primitive part of our brain. It's the part of us that keeps us alive. It's the reason why you're alive right now. And it's the reason why why animals why animals know automatically to either run away or to fight another animal or to even freeze to play dead. So there are these ways that it's just built into who we are. But most of us would probably agree that sometimes our sympathetic nervous system, that part of us that gets activated and triggered, that it sometimes does it when maybe it really wasn't an actual danger situation. It might have just been triggering the memory of something from the past that felt dangerous for us as a child. And then now we act out, and sometimes we act out in ways that we're not always proud of afterwards. So, what is the part of our brain that brings us down from that engaged place? It's called the parasympathetic nervous system. Here is how I remember the difference is that the parasympathetic nervous system is like a parachute. So it's like you put the parachute on and it gently guides you back down. I even like to imagine it like this, like my body, the sympathetic nervous system gets my body up. Right? Oh, like up here. And the parasympathetic nervous system just brings me back. It guides me back into my body. It guides me onto the ground and gets me kind of feeling safe. Okay, so I'm not going to get into all the details right now, but what I want to say is that we need both. It's not about getting rid of them. The sympathetic nervous system is really important for a whole bunch of reasons, and if you're interested, you can go and take a look. Either you can Google it, or I'm actually going to link a PDF that you can download if you want that will help you to understand maybe some of this a little bit better. And the sympathetic nervous system, I mean, like, listen, some stress is good. Some stress can actually motivate us. It can get us doing something that we didn't want to do. It's okay. Stress is not in of itself bad. It's just that it can become more of a toxic type of an environment for us. So we need the parasympathetic nervous system. Sometimes we actually get kind of stuck in a sympathetic response where everything around us is triggering us. Now, it could be because you're actually legitimately in an environment that's not safe for you and you might need to get out of that environment. And I'm talking like it could be as bad as like an abusive situation, but it also could be just, the environment you're in is just not good for your nervous system. Now, yes, there are ways that we will learn to strengthen our nervous system, to regulate our nervous system, for sure. And that's part of what I want to talk about today. But sometimes we have to actually get out of those situations because we're just constantly in that sympathetic place. And it's not only not good for us kind of emotionally and our well-being, but it's also really bad for us physically because your body is meant to come back down again. So like when an animal goes into, say, like freeze or something like that, for example, they go into freeze. Once they realize they're safe, then they come out of freeze and you'll see they shake. And that's why you see people sometimes after they have surgery or a traumatic experience, they shake because it's actually releasing all of the adrenaline, releasing everything so they can come back to homeostasis. And that's engaging the parasympathetic nervous system. So let's talk about what we can do to proactively manage or, regulate our nervous system. All right, so I'm going to pull up something and tell you it as we go along. Okay, so here are some of the things that we can be doing. So for one, we can bring our attention to our physical sensations in our body. So I'm not talking about it can be while you're in the midst of a trigger, but I also want to talk about just in general. Just when you're sitting here, if you're in the car, just I notice that I'm feeling the pressure of the seat up on my butt, or I feel the cool air, or I feel my shirt is in a funny position, or I notice the saliva in my mouth Or maybe you even just like run your finger over your lips. Like just pay attention to sensations in your body, because what that does is it just brings you into connection with your body. Okay, another one is your breath. So that can be anything from noticing your breath, might just be like literally needing an actual full breath. One thing we know is that the parasympathetic, like let's just say you're kind of feeling tired. Well, then if you engage in a nice full in breath, like a, it's the breath that actually kind of engages your sympathetic nervous system and gets your energy up. But if you want to bring it down, so you want to engage your parasympathetic nervous system, you want to then be focusing more on the out breath. So you just breathe in naturally, and then a nice long out breath. Now you may find that you want to do things like count your breath. You may want to do breathing in through your one nostril and then the other nostril. There are actually things you can Google to do different breathing exercises. Another thing might be positive imagery or peaceful imagery. Okay, another thing you can Google, and I would definitely go onto YouTube and look for this, is a progressive muscle relaxation, or what people call a body scan. That is another amazing way to get your proactively be engaging your parasympathetic nervous system, because think of it like a muscle. You want to develop this so that it's strong, so that it's very available for you, so that you can engage it really quickly. Another thing is learning meditation or mindfulness. Again, you can learn that on YouTube, but there are beautiful, amazing teachers out there. Another one is to have an attitude of gratitude, to actually commit to yourself that you're going to practice gratitudes. And so even when you're just driving in the car, thinking about what are you grateful for? Literally, sometimes I'll just be in this space where I'm driving along and I'm like, oh, I'm grateful for that beautiful tree over there. I'm grateful for my car's brakes working. I'm grateful for the fact that I can own a car. I'm grateful for the blue sky. I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for life itself. So what this does is it builds that, it cultivates the mental frame of mind that keeps you in a regulated nervous system. Worry kind of keeps us spinning. Other things we can be doing, we can be helping other people, donating your time to an organization, but also just when you're feeling kind of low and you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling like your sympathetic nervous system is up, it's amazing if you do something like go out of your way to help another person in that time, how much you'll get out of that very, very quickly. Other things you can be doing, exercising, yoga, tai chi, qigong, light jogging, hiking, walking, things like that. Anything, basically, any movement. Dancing is a great one. Another one is to start to really just slow down. So I don't mean like literally walk slower, though that could be part of it, but just be present to what you're doing. If you're cooking dinner, see what it's like to just cook dinner without doing something else. What is it like to say no to things that don't feel like they're aligned with you? If your body says no, don't do it. And that's part of what's happening here, is you're learning to have a relationship with your body where your body can be more of a teacher to you. And so 2 final things that are really awesome for engaging our parasympathetic nervous system. One is snuggling and cuddling. We know that oxytocin gets released when we snuggle and cuddle. So snuggle and cuddle as much as you can, because that actually slows down your heart rate and your breathing. We soften and we come in to homeostasis. So touching skin to skin is really great. And if you can't do skin to skin with others, skin to skin with yourself. Skin to skin with yourself. It's okay too. Hugging yourself. And last but not least, reparenting yourself, inner bonding, connecting to yourself, taking time out of your day, whether it is when you're doing something else like driving, or whether you actually can carve out time for yourself to say nice things to yourself, to tell yourself what you wish you would hear from other people, to give yourself self-compassion, sit alone, do something fun with yourself, listen to how you're feeling, journal, do something that brings you great joy. And what happens when you have a healthy nervous system? So these are ways you can proactively cultivate a healthy nervous system. So what happens? We end up with more energy. We have a higher emotional intelligence, better sleep. We can end up more relaxed, healthier overall because our nervous system is at the root of everything. We have more joy, more inner peace, more resilience, better relationships, more courage, less fear, less worry, less anxiety, less depression. And ultimately, as a parent, what we know is that young children co-regulate to build their nervous system. They co-regulate to us to build their nervous system. So when you have a regulated nervous system, they will cultivate their nervous system in a much more healthy way. Their nervous system will get developed. Their pathways to their prefrontal cortex will get more and more developed. They will come out of that part of their brain, the back of their brain, the most primitive part of their brain, and enter into the more evolved parts of their brain just by you doing it. You don't even have to do anything except for regulate your own nervous system, and you will notice everyone in the house will become more regulated because we are co-regulating machines. So I hope that's helpful for you. I will put the PDF below, and I really hope that I would love to hear what you have to say about any of these things. And if you have other ways that you use to calm that nervous system of yours, to cultivate this healthy nervous system, I want to hear about it. All right.